Hi everyone. Just waiting for some people to get on. Hello. Just gonna give it some time to let people join. All right, y'all. Welcome to another WAP Wednesday. And as you know, thank you. Thank you for your support. Yes, hi everyone. Okay, so this is another episode of WAP Wednesday, and WAP for us stands for What About Protecting Yourself? Yes. Dun, dun, dun. Sorry. I do this like right by my door, and sometimes the lighting goes in and out, so trying to get myself together. But yes, definitely. Okay, so thank you for WAP Wednesday. Thank you for joining. This is WAP Wednesday, where we talk about all things protection and protecting ourselves. So WAP for us stands for What About Protecting Ourselves? And as you know, or some of you may not, if you're just joining us for the first time, my name is Kane. I'm a co-founder of Beyond Defense. And so Beyond Defense is a Black-owned, family-owned, woman-owned organization that sells personal protection kits so that people can feel safe and feel protected and empowered to protect themselves with our self-defense tools. Right? And so we have two kits right now. We've got a unicorn kit and we have a black tie kit. And the unicorn is a multicolored kit that's got all these beautiful pinks and blues and purples. And so each item is a different color. The black tie kit is a kit. It has these same 5 items, but it is all black. So it's got a sleeker look. It's also for men who don't want a purple taser. I don't know. I love the purple taser, but definitely. So check us out on our website. It's www.beyonddefense.net. All right. And I'll say that again near the end. And also, please feel free to jump in and put any comments or questions or any feedback or anything you want to discuss about what we're talking about, because I love just kind of hearing from y'all. And I'm happy to answer any questions that I possibly can. So this week we're also going to be talking about safety while traveling, right? So last week we talked a little bit about kind of the research you need to do before you travel and how to get your kit to you in a safe way if you're flying or if you're driving, right? And so today I kind of want to build on that. So some of you may or may not know, but we just came back from vacation, and there's just some things that I noticed while I was there from other people doing. So I just want to talk a little bit about, mostly today we're talking about Ubers and Lyfts and rideshare apps, ultimately, because I know it's not just Uber and Lyft, there's other rideshare apps out there. But I just want to talk about kind of the safety aspects in riding in a rideshare app, or getting in a car with a stranger, right? So these are just a little bit you're in a new city, in a new state, you didn't drive, you flew, and you're just there for a couple of days. You're obviously going to want to do rideshare apps when it's cheaper, especially if you're trying to be drinking. You don't drink and drive, so definitely you want to make sure that you have either a designated driver if you rented a car, or you are able to oh sorry, I'm getting distracted. I see your comments. Hi y'all. But you want to just make sure that you are safe when you're riding in the Uber or the Lyft. I personally use Lyft more because I've never had a bad experience with Lyft. I think it's easier. And for the most part, when Lyft first came out, it was mostly all women drivers, and that just made me more comfortable. And so I mostly do Lyft. So one big thing that you definitely need to do when you order a Lyft, it says it's going to be here 5 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever. When they tell you when the driver's out there, you definitely need to check the license plate. The picture on Lyft or Uber in the app, it shows you the I'm like pointing to my head on my phone. But it shows you the picture of the driver. So I look in the window to make sure that they match their picture, and it's a much harder now, I think, with the masks. But I mean, for the most part, people look pretty similar up here. So I definitely check to make sure that they look like their picture. And then I check the license plate before I even get in. I go around the back, I check the license plate. I have the app open in my hand. I check the license plate. I don't try to remember it. I like read their license plate. I read it in the app, and then I check their face to make sure they look like they're supposed to be. So if the license plates match, they look like what they're supposed to look like. And then I ask them their names, like, is this you, right? Or who are you here for? Or what's your name? Who are you here for? Those kinds of things. Because especially like if you're at the airport, there's all kinds of like people calling rideshares Ubers and Lyfts. And you just want to make sure you're getting into the right car, and that car is actually like an Uber or Lyft driver. And it's nice because sometimes they have the stickers, but you just want to make sure you're checking all the facets of what the car is supposed to look like. Is it the right color? Is it the right make and model? Is it the right license plate? Does your driver look like they're supposed to look like? And do they know who they're picking up? So I like to ask who you're here for, just so I know. And I have kind of a hard name to pronounce, I think, if you're just reading it, because people get thrown off. I think it's fairly simple, but anything close, I'm like, yeah, that's me, right? So you always want to make sure you check those things. Okay, that's one. The second thing I'm going to talk about is, what do you do when you're in the car, right? So especially if you're by yourself, it's very important that you have either the rideshare app open, because it has a map on there, or your GPS, what Apple Maps or Google Maps or whatever or Waze that you use, to make sure like they're going the same way that your map is telling you to go, right? If they make like a turn somewhere off when you're like, my GPS isn't rerouting, where are you going? Like, at least you know almost immediately like something's going on and you got to make a plan, right? So you never want to just be like, especially if you've never been to that city before, you want to make sure that you have it open. So I always, we were traveling with kind of a big group, so I like to sit in the front and then have my maps open so they know that I know that we need to be going the same way, right? And I think it's less, like I said in my last video, it's less like there's safety in numbers always, right? So if you can travel with someone or a group, do that. A group of people that you trust, right? But even when you're with other people, or especially if you're by yourself, you want to make sure that you know where you're going, where you're supposed to be going, you have the destination, etc. And so I don't really get like an Uber or Lyft when I'm just like, hey, take me to like where you want to go. Like, I do a lot more research, I think, than other people. And so some of the people we were with were kind of more go with the flow kind of people. And I'm like, I need to know where we're going, so I know like when we get there, and so I know that we're going the right way, so that I can have my maps open, right? So that's that's really important too, just so you know kind of where you're going. If there's like, and like where we were, there was kind of like a sketchy little, it wasn't sketchy, but it was like a weird little kind of turn that you had to do, and if you like went straight instead of that way, it just looked a little creepy. So it's just really good to know where you need to be, and that your maps can follow along, right? And then the third and final thing I want to talk about is have your weapons in your hands. And I know sometimes like you have a lot going on. Like there was one time we would come back from a restaurant, I had like leftover food, I had a drink, and then I had my phone out because I was doing the maps, and I was like, man, I can't like reach my mace right now. But I mean, I was with my sister, so I told one of them to like get their weapons out, but it's really hard sometimes, especially if you're by yourself, right? So I try to keep my hands as free as I can, just because I know I'm gonna have my phone out, and I know that like I'm gonna want to have like my weapon like close in my pocket, like so that I can get it very quickly. You know what I mean? So if you get into a car, just try to keep your hands free and like make sure you have at least a weapon very close that you can get to quickly. I know sometimes we don't really take our keys out with us while we're on vacation, especially if we didn't drive. But like the two things I definitely travel with, I know I mentioned this before, the two things that I travel with are like I like to have my knife and I like to have my mace with me. So we were able to, I saw a question earlier, we were able to travel with it, but we checked the bag, right? It cannot go, none of the weapons in the kit can go on the plane with you in a carry-on, but we checked the bag. So we put our self-defense tools in the checked bag so that we can, so that we were able to get them to us, right? And so I know I mentioned in the last episode, go check that out, about pre-travel safety tips and how to get your kits to you. One way, if you are flying, is to check a bag. And I personally would recommend it if you were able to, because it's just the easiest way to get them to you. And all of the items in our kit can be in a checked bag. They cannot go on carry-on, but they can all be checked in a bag. All right, that's really all I had. I did see some questions, so give me a second. I'm going to scroll on through here. Dun, 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 dun. Yes. All right, so... Oh, yes, no, thank you. This, we have someone who commented they've sent all of our pages to everyone, so that's great. Thank you so much for your support. And if you haven't been to our website or our other social medias, go ahead. We're at Beyond Defense everywhere. And our website is www.beyonddefense.net. beyonddefense.net. So go ahead and shop, support, and share. Let's see, other questions. Somebody asked when we're gonna sell guns. I'm not sure about that. The reason why we chose this protection kit and not guns at this point is because lots of people don't feel comfortable with guns. And while we as a family feel comfortable with guns, we don't we want there to be other options for people, because there was a long time, I know, where, you know, you could get these things individually, but like everybody was like, get a gun. And I'm like, at that point, I didn't want a gun. Or like lots of people don't want a gun. They don't want a gun in the house. But you know, everybody, like, even if you don't want a gun, you deserve to be protected and feel empowered to protect yourself. And that's why we have the kit. And it's got 5 items, 3 of which are designed to help you get away. We have the stun gun comes with an alarm to help you make some noise, get some attention, get away, all those kinds of things. So check that out. Somebody asked again, were you able to travel with the protection tools? We were. If you were flying, you have to check them in a bag. All of the items in the kit can be checked in a bag, but they cannot come on the plane with you on carry-on. Okay. I think that's all the questions. So yes, definitely be safe, y'all, when you're traveling. Like I said, all of our kits can be checked in a bag. So if you're able to do that and you're flying, you can also, there's a bunch of different ways that you can get them to you. I did mention them in the last Safety While Traveling video. So go ahead and check that out on our WAP Wednesday series. And yes, stay safe, y'all. Thank you so much for joining. Oh, wait, hold on. I said, how can you get a police taser? I'm not super sure what you mean by police taser. Do you mean the actual taser that the police use? Because I think that I'm not super sure if those kinds of tasers are available to the public. But in our kit, we do have a taser. The purple taser, I think, is like 2.5 million volts, and then the black tie taser, the one that we just recently switched to, is fairly close behind that. I don't have the exact number off the top of my head, but our tasers are pretty powerful. They I don't think I charged this one, but this is the original taser we had in the unicorn kit. It's purple, and it's a pretty powerful taser. Let me see if it's charged. I don't know. I wasn't planning on doing the tool. Yeah, so it's pretty charged. Yeah, and you can probably hear that. My dog's about to come out here, but I hope you heard that. But it's a pretty powerful taser. So yeah. Yeah, so we do have a couple videos on how to use the tasers. We were thinking, I know we have some videos of, oh, I'm sorry, let me read the question. Somebody said you should make a video with those tasers being used. So we do have, especially the new black tie taser, we have a video up on how to use that because we've gotten some questions, and that's different because it has a kill switch that needs to be plugged into the bottom of the taser when being used. So that's a little different, but we do have a video with how to use the that purple taser that we can send out again, and that we can push out again. And we have a video on our IGTV tab about how to use the taser. And I did that video. It's the one with like a yellow and a polka dot dress. I know it kind of looks like the WAP Wednesday series because I'm in the same place. But it's the one where it's me in a yellow and a white polka dot dress. So go ahead and check that out, and we'll be pushing that out again soon. Just because we had another wave of kids that we just sent down. We want to make sure everybody has that information. So yeah, if that's it, thank you all again for joining, and I'll see y'all next week on WAP Wednesday. Stay safe, y'all.